Hello, my friends. Okay, I'm going to start with a confession. These two little birds you're seeing, I sketched them out in my grandkids' sketchbook before I put them in my own sketchbook. And then I realized I could have just done this in my own sketchbook and been done with this page. But that's where I am right now. I'm still scared to add to my sketchbook, but we're going to do page 3 of my very first sketchbook today. We're going to go vertical with this one, which is that was hard for me too, because I'm like, well, now the date's going to be in a different spot than the other pages, and blah blah blah. You got to flip the book. It's all good. Now the shape of this. Brace yourselves. It's bad. I was like, how did I do those other two? Just fine. And then I did this one, and I'm like, oh, buddy, you look like you've had a rough life. But I just pretended that didn't happen and started drawing some lines, thinking maybe it'll get better. It does get better. I do add something to help the shape a little bit. But for now, I was panicking just a little bit and thought, oh, I'll draw some dots. That'll make me feel better. And then I thought, aha, I'm going to add a couple little tail feathers to kind of help this poor little guy out. In case you don't know, this is my take on a quail. I love quails. I think they're so cute. I pretty much love all birds, but quails are just adorable to me, especially the really plump ones. So yeah, I didn't have a big plan. I didn't have a plan at all really going into this other than I was just going to doodle inside of this bird. So a lot of this is just me. Oh, and I had to do this. I had to exaggerate the feather plume. I love their little plumes. They're so cute and fancy. But a lot of it is just me drawing some lines, adding some dots and other lines and shapes and just, yeah, you can see I'm just adding some little dashes and a little dot in between each dash for this one. And I decided with the feather plume, I'm going to do that in white gel pen after I lay my paint down. And I get bored pretty easily, and so I decided I didn't want to come up with ideas for this larger space, so I just drew all these little leaves and doing some veining in there. I don't know why doodling is kind of hard for me. Like a couple times I'm like, what am I supposed to do next? What am I supposed to do next? I didn't lose any sleep over it, but yeah, it was a challenge more so than one would think. Went a little crazy over here, added some triangles, feeling adventurous. I'm kidding. But yeah, I liked triangles for a little variation there. And then just adding some more lines, filling in kind of that little spot. It kind of reminded me of like the sun. But anyway, on the little belly, I'm going to draw another little kind of botanical thing. And yeah, I like that look. A lot of times in folk art, Scandinavian art, you see a lot of mirroring, which isn't really my specialty, but I tried it there, gave it a try. Adding some little fancy detail around the eye and the neck, and then a couple simple little tootsies. And yeah, I think I'm calling this good and ready to paint. And I'm showing you this part in real time speed so that you can see how kind of painfully slow I'm painting this. I will speed it up because you don't need to watch me go so carefully around all the lines. But just so you know, I do 2 coats of paint, letting that first coat dry in between completely, in between coats. And I'll tell you, I do not like the color palette I chose. I didn't think it through. I suggest you do. Think it through ahead of time. Like, do you want some fall colors? Do you want maybe some muted tones? Do you want maybe some neutral colors? You could just have fun with this. Bright, you could do like pink and turquoise and all that. Yeah. Are you judging my color choices right now? Because I am not loving it, but it gets better, especially after I add my white gel pen at the end. But for now, we're just going with these colors. It's what I did. That's the thing about doing it in the sketchbook. It's like, oh, well, this is what I chose. And so we're just going to live with it. And this is the part where I want to emphasize if you're doing what I did and drawing all the details in at the beginning, you really need a waterproof pen to do that. So I'm using my usual Micron pens. I will link them in the description for you if you want to check them out. You can go get them at Walmart or whatever you want, but or any craft store. But yeah, coming in with some turquoise and yeah, not love, still not loving the color choices, but it's all good. Now, you could also just pencil in the general shape of the bird if you don't have a waterproof pen. Just pencil in the general shape, paint in different sections of it, and then once it's completely dry, come in with whatever pen you have or marker that you have. And if you have any doubts of how the marker or pen is going to look over dried paint, just do a little sample on a scratch piece of paper. All right, for the feather plume, I just did a little circle and then, yeah, just did a line with a bunch of lines on it. How's that for a description? And I decided the black just wasn't showing up enough in the blue paint, so I'm adding some white detail there on the head and also on the little belly. Yeah, I really love what this white pen adds to this bird. And in the turquoise where I had black dots, I'm just adding little asterisks, little stars. Or no, they're X's. I thought they were asterisks. But yeah, little X's in between each of the dots. And you see how the white is helping these crazy colors out. I really like it. And I'm just outlining the red section here, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I guess it doesn't have to make sense. You know what I mean? It's just what I felt like doing at the time. It just felt right. And there is no right. There's no right or wrong. You just play. And I'm not sure why. I don't know why. Doodling is just hard for me. It's just hard, like I said, to come up with ideas. But decided to outline all of these leaves to make them pop a little bit more. Now this next part might rub some people the wrong way because I'm coloring in like every other little leaf portion here, but I'm only going to do it for the top 3 leaves. I don't know why. Again, I just liked how it looked at the end. And honestly, I was probably bored too and didn't want to do the last 3. If I'm, it's probably true. Adding some little white dots down here in the blue, and then decided to add little lines because this really did remind me of the sunshine. So I thought those were little rays of sun. And I decided to add a little bit to the legs, help her stand up a little bit better, or him. And then instead of painting in a shadow, I just drew in some lines to kind of go with the theme here. And as a final touch, I just added a little bit of white at the tip of the tail. And I got my little stamp. I love my stamp. I just think it's so fun. All right, and here's a little close-up of our finished product. I'm digging her. I think she's pretty cute. At first I thought she looked like a pile of handkerchiefs. You know those ones you can get at the craft store, but that's okay. Okay, guys, I hope you have fun with this one. And if you want to see more of my sketch pages and other art, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.